I think that it starts by seeking first to understand where your spouse may be coming from, their perspective on life, their perspective on things. Seeking first to understand it may be very, very difficult and very hard.
And making time for that.
But okay, where is he or she coming from? Let's look at their childhood. Let's look at the things that they had to deal with as a child. And a lot of times, if you dig deep enough, you start finding that you have a sense of compassion toward this person about what he or she had to deal with.
Yeah.
We all have trauma, all of us. And I'm not saying that's going to fix the relationship at all, but it does help open a little bit of that door to a conversation between the two of you, that when we start just trying to see what it's like from their point of view.
Okay, I'd like to ask about what you think about Nicole's quote that to have a good marriage, we need to compromise a lot. What do you think about that?
I'm not a big fan.
Why?
Of the word compromise.
But isn't that important in marriage?
I like to think of the word collaborate.
Okay, tell me the differences.
Well, compromise, and I'm not saying it's not ever off the table. I'm not saying it's not ever something to consider, but compromise usually means I'm giving up something for you, and vice versa. Politicians compromise, world leaders, things like that compromise. Businesses do that, and that's necessary at times. But when you think more about collaborating, that means we are intentional about both of us having success. Not I'm getting mine and forget you.
It's your turn to have your way, and then next time I'll have my way. Or
yeah, it's
you
not,
get your way all
a
the time.
transactional type of relationship. Transactional types of relationships, they lead to astroturfing because it's just a tit for tat. It's you got yours, I'm getting mine kind of a thing. It's what we used to do when we were like 6 years old, and my mom would say, Kevin, you cut the cake and Scott gets to pick the piece. So, I mean, he's going to try to get it right down the middle because he knows I get a pick. That's a transactional type of relationship.
But okay, so if you and Kevin are cutting the cake, how would you do it collaboratively?
Well, we talk with each other.
It seems like what you said was pretty fair. What your mom came up with was pretty fair.
That is pretty fair. What if I talk to Kevin and I say, hey, man, take me for a ride in your car? Because he always had cool cars, right?
And you can have the bigger piece.
Just, something where he feels good about showing off his car to me, right?
Yeah.
He wants to show off his car to me, and I like to get in his car because it's cool, and it always had a big, loud bass stereo. So we go on a ride and around town, and we bond as brothers. That is a win-win. That's collaborative relationship. And we eat the cake.
So it reminds me of a little romantic movie that we watched over the weekend where it's called The Wrong Paris.
Oh,
where she went on a reality TV show to get a plane ticket to Paris where she wanted to go to art school. And instead of sending her to Paris, France, the plane with all of the girls on this reality show flew around for 7 hours around Dallas and then landed in Paris, Texas.
Spoiler alert for all of you. I don't know. I don't remember laughing so hard at a movie for a long time.
Funny. So she was on a dude ranch with this guy who was picking who his future wife would be. And at the end, when they send all of the ones home that he's not interested in, she has to decide between, I think it was $250,000 and him. And of course, they'd fallen in love along the way. But when it comes down to it, if she chooses him, she doesn't get to go to art school. She doesn't get to pursue her future. if she chooses the money, she loses him. So if you haven't watched it, you can fast forward a few seconds because I'm going to tell what happens. They collaborate together and he tells her, take the money. Just take the money. And she's like, but I don't want to lose you. And he's like, just trust me, take the money. So she takes the money and then they choose each other outside of the
So
whole
they got it.
show.
They got
so
it
they
all.
got both. She didn't give up her dreams. They talked about it and they collaborated together.